What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Today we're going to be finishing up with NotJah Witness's interview. He is going to be discussing what made him leave the faith or the religion of the Jehovah's Witnesses, which is a little bit more complicated than you might think. And then we go into his best advice for maybe some JWs that could be watching this, or those that are thinking about or have left the JWs already. So if you're interested in this, please stay tuned. Let's, I guess, transition a little bit out of your childhood and into more of when you started questioning. So, like, when did that start happening? Like, I know that you said as a kid you had your doubts, but when did you really start thinking about your faith?
Well, that really, it's been a long-winded process because I've always thought I've never been one of those, big-headed kind of guys who are like, I know it all, like I'll have my moments, don't get me wrong. Like I'll always have those times where I used to be up against someone from another religion or even somebody who just didn't believe in God. And I'll be like, yeah, I know more than you on this point, but I'd always be the sort of person who would then listen and take on what the person would say and think about it. I like to think about these things. I was never necessarily swayed, but I would think about them and I'd enjoy that process. So I was always trying to doubt. I was always like, because I understood my belief and my religion as something to doubt, to try and, because that's the way you make sure it's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is not normal. Even for JWs, that is not normal. That kind of meant that, so when I finally ended up leaving, which was 12 or 13, after being an unbaptized publisher, I had an argument with an elder and I left. I just always, because that was a big, because then all of a sudden, okay, the elders are wrong. Because they had said something to me that was just blatantly wrong.
Right.
And from then on, I'm like, okay, I'm right to question these things, but I kept on believing everything that I hadn't yet found reason not to. You know what I mean? Like I kept all those beliefs. I just, for now, questioned the religion itself. For years, I went on going, it's the religion. Like there's a God, and it's probably Jehovah, but that religion is wrong, or the corrupt, like there's a evil seed amongst them that needs to be gotten rid of.
Mm-hmm.
But I never realized I was still just lingering beliefs that I was indoctrinated.
Like what certain lingering beliefs that you were indoctrinated with? Like, could you give me an example?
Pretty much all of it. I mean, I believe Jehovah existed. I would still argue people on the stake or the cross. I would, but at the same time, I would still argue people about like the Shroud of Turin and all these other bullshit Christian things that are like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I was one of those mixed sort of.
Okay, so had you? I guess you had like left the JW organization, but you were still like, I guess in your beliefs and theology, you were still Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, I think they call it physically out, mentally in.
Okay. All right. So
physically out, pommy.
When did you end up giving up the Jehovah's Witness like idea? Like just like I guess the religion on the whole. Yeah.
That literally happened in February this year.
Oh, really? What convinced you? Because I know we had kind of talked about, Telltale and John Cedars and whatnot, but I'm kind of curious, was there any certain like thing that was pointed out to you or a certain idea that made you flip a switch, or was it like a culmination of different things?
I know that it was a culmination in a way, but there was a light bulb moment. I just wish I knew what exactly it was. Because I went, like, as I said, I went through so many of those videos. Like, once I hit that mark and started watching the videos, I went a bit nuts. Like, I would just go through them all. I went through, probably all of Telltale's oldest to newest I think one of the newest at the time was, or recently, it was around Pillowgate, or maybe that's just the ones that I hit. Because I remember that was a weird one. There was all the pedophilia going on here in Australia. That was a thing that I was like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Because they're like,
Yeah.
that's not the Catholics, like hell, like another religion. I don't, like that's retarded as it is, but that's not my religion. This is my religion. This is where my little brother goes to. This is where, my family go to. Like, what the fuck? Because I've never seen that sort of thing. And I didn't believe it when I first heard it. It took me a bit, but I was like, okay. Like, I've now, the amount of people that have gotten onto me since I've created my channel and been like, this is my story. Holy shit. Like, I don't even know how to respond to some of the stuff because it's intense. The stuff that people have gone through, and so it was a lot of these little things, I suppose, at first, and then there must have been a point, but I just don't know which one of those things it was. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I remember having that moment, and I took a good month before I could actually think straight again. Like, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think about anything. Like, my whole mind was just consumed with this. It was like being, what do you call it? Seeing stars, birds flying around your head like you in the cartoon. I
Mm-hmm.
just, for a whole month, my brain was frazzled, So whatever made that moment start, it must have been a good one. I've been trying to find it since, but I haven't.
I'm wondering, like, looking back on, your beliefs then and now, is there anything different about you?
I think about that. So I know that as a person, I've changed little, or my personality, the way I view other people, the way, like I know a lot of other religious people can go from being very judgmental to not, or have one sort of political view and then a different, but none of that really changed. I think the best thing I can say that did change is my level of education. The amount I've learned since is so much more than I ever would have because I wasn't opening myself up to so many things. And so I thought of, all these ways that I used to be smart as a kid. I was a fucking crazy nerd, but I would have never ever thought to open myself up to all these different things. And so in that way, I'm like, that's a big change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good change because, I mean, there are so many people I've met, for example, who I just would have never been in anywhere near the right circles to meet those sorts of people, and they're the best people in the world. Like, I can't believe of all this great knowledge and experience that I've been missing out on because I was closing myself off. So that's the best change.
Okay. Now, I'm wondering, what kind of advice can you give to maybe Jehovah's Witnesses out there that might be watching, this interview right now?
Doubt. Don't blindly believe what you read and what you're told in the meetings or what the elders tell you, or like if there is a brother or sister that questions something, don't shut them down. Don't tell the elders about them. Ask them about it. Find out about it. Look into it yourself because they might be right, and they probably are. And I really would implore anyone to don't look at the information you find online as just worldly information, and that it's not all lies. There's a lot of truth to that, and you really should consider it instead of just ignoring it all.
No, I think that's very solid advice. Yeah. But now, what about those that are questioning the faith or have just recently left it?
That's tough because I feel like I'm in that situation myself. So it depends where you want to go, because I've met a lot of former witnesses. They go in so many different directions. And for me, that is worrying, but for them, it might not be. And I mean, who am I to judge? But if there was anything I would say to continue being doubtful of everything. Find out find out for yourself what everything, like before you jump into another belief, before you go for another vice, find out about it, do a bit of research, see if that is where you really want to go, or does it sound a lot like something else that has been fed to you? Too many people fall into the trap of coming out of being a witness and falling into another religion or falling into woo or some sort of spirituality, and it's sort of falling into the same trap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe go to university, try and get a degree. That would be great advice, in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about your YouTube channel now. So what do you do on your YouTube channel? Like, do you only tackle Jehovah's Witness issues, or what do you use your channel for?
I try and do a little bit of, not everything, but just whatever I sort of want to do, because I realized early that if I'm going to do this, properly, I not only have to make it stuff people want to watch, but I have to make it something that I want to do, like the presentations that I want to make. So I do a lot on the JWs because I love it. I love that topic. It is what I knew, and I want to be able to express my experiences, good or bad, and what I think about it all. But at the same time, some days I just want to have a bit of fun. And so I've, got one series going where I grade Dr. Guyman, who unfortunately has lost his channel recently, which sucks. But I've been having a lot of fun with that, with a fellow friend called XCLover666, who is an actual teacher, and they write up my scripts. They grade Guyman's videos as if it was an actual school assignment. And so I get to present that to Dr. Guyman, and I have a lot of fun doing it.
But so you said Guyman lost his channel?
He did. It sucks. He was really pissed off. He didn't delete it. From the best we understand or can gather, either his parents found it and deleted it, or YouTube got him because he throws out a lot of stupid stuff.
Well, I don't know. From what I've seen of Guyman's stuff, it wasn't anything that would really get his channel taken down, from what I could tell. So
no, I didn't think so, but I just figured maybe YouTube's having one of its moments.
Yeah, it might be, but who knows? I hope that his situation gets better, though. If his parents are like, deleting his YouTube channel just out of nowhere.
That's a worry. See, if it's all getting deleted on him, that'd be a little bit tragic for him.
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean, I don't think most of us don't agree with him, right? But none of us wanted to see him get deleted. That's awful.
Yeah, I agree. Well, NotJah, is there anything you want to leave my audience with? Any words of advice or anything like that?
Not really. Just mainly don't get fooled by con artists such as the witnesses.
No.
Number one message, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I would second that. Anybody out there that is in the Jehovah's Witnesses now, I definitely doubt, like NotJah was saying before. And I hope everybody has an awesome day. Thank you, NotJah, for joining me today for this kind of short interview. It was great talking to you, man. I know that it's really late there for you because you're like on the other side of the world, which apparently apparently some people say Australia doesn't even exist. So I don't even know where in the nether you are.
See, you're actually dreaming, mate. I'm a figment of your imagination, and you're still asleep. You slept in this morning, and you don't even realize it.
Damn, I sleep hard.
When I sleep hard.
Well, NotJah, thank you for joining me today. Everybody that's in or that's still watching, please go down below and subscribe to NotJah Witness. His link's down there. It's also in the cards. And I guess we'll see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, guys.